it's more so like you're creating and amplifying and allowing a stronger, like, passageway.
I never knew my biological father.
Okay.
And he passed away. The energy from him, I can feel it.
Just don't let yourself get swept up in what other people feel is strength and intelligence.
Interaction, like I've seen a few, like I would say masters, like ascended masters.
Okay.
And there's one moment where I believe it was Buddha or a round-faced being was trying to tell me something, and I couldn't hear what he was trying to say.
Hello, I'm Ruth Barclay. This is Taste Your Magic YouTube channel. I have a ranch with animals where we work with people on the outside of the YouTube channel, and we also do retreats around the world and animal shamanism with people. We work with people with their gifts. We work with their relationships, their health, their wealth. People from businesses come, and I've been doing this for about 25 years, maybe a little bit more. We've even worked with indigenous tribes all over the world with all these different things. And so that's helped my gifts to be able to help you guys. But what we're doing today is we're doing readings. And the readings can consist of oracle readings, which is anything about you and your gifts, your guides, your life path, whatever it is an oracle reading. We have animal communication, where we talk to people's pets and get some communication that way. Or we also talk to loved ones who've passed on, and I like to call that angel connections. So we're gonna see what we've got today. We have Ashton with us today, and this is the first time I'm meeting him, and he's meeting me. Let's film and ask some good questions.
Perfect, let's do it.
Let's taste your magic.
Okay, I'd love to.
So, how can I support you or answer a question for you or help you today?
Yeah, so I got a few. First, because I'll just start with this one, because when I was sitting over there, I was having the same sensations.
Okay.
Not too long ago, maybe a few months ago, I had an experience where, and I'd never had anything like this happen to me before, and full like Kundalini spinal sweep, and like not every day, but very, very often, I have these sensations, and my question is going to be like, am I getting told something, or is that the energy moving through me, or I don't understand it fully, but basically my gut sucks in, and my eyes flutter, and my head snaps back, and it happens in certain areas. Like as soon as you guys started talking, it started happening. I went like, if I go to like a church, that kind of vibe will do it.
Okay.
Or if like certain weird environments, I don't know what it is, but I'm curious to know if you would be able to know anything about that, or if you have anything come to you when I talk about that. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely, you put a great word to it, a Kundalini activation, right? But the stimulations in interesting places is because you are sensing vortex areas. And so when you step into an area that's linked to the earth or linked to the heavens, then that instant connection in you starts to connect fully. And so it's like if we were to take you back to a spot, like where you were sitting even, and we had you allow yourself to connect into it, then that could bring in information, that could bring in maybe some, this is really crazy, but some like loved ones that are trying to pass through veils that maybe got stuck in a loop somewhere in that area. It's more so like you're creating and amplifying and allowing a stronger like passageway. So what comes up when I say that to you?
Well, what's interesting is the weeks prior to the first initial energetic switch, I had been diving back into a bunch of shadow stuff.
Okay.
And with you saying it could be opening up a passage, it does make me think that there is a portion of energy that was locked away, and then now that it's freed, it could be surfacing, and that stimulates that thought.
Yeah.
There could be some stored energy that was trapped.
Yeah, of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll have even more. You'll have it where you'll start to feel it through your feet, even.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, it's like an alignment of power, an alignment of gift, an alignment of the God energy, whatever that is for you, right? And when you do that, now if you can recognize it and breathe it in and out, breathe it in and out, and allow it to circulate more, you could pass out. Mm-hmm. That's possible, right? But get to the point where you are just a little lightheaded as you breathe it down deep and then breathe it back up. Mm-hmm. And what that's going to do is any of your healing gifts that you have naturally, it's going to amplify those up. And so if you were to like give a blessing, or if you were to help a loved one or help somebody else or communicate in a helpful manner, then I would kind of center in and I would allow that to move through you, almost like you're creating a gold glow about you, right? Mm-hmm. But when it just happens, you're hitting power points in the earth that are just natural connected power points.
Right. That's very interesting. It catches me off guard.
It's
like the actual sensations are so weird. Like my stomach completely sucks all the way back to my spine without me trying to. Cool. And I'm like, what is that? Anyways, that's the first question.
Yeah, keep doing that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. In fact, you can practice doing it too and get even better and better at it.
Right. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you might pass out, just a heads up.
Okay, good to know. You're saying if I do focus in and breathe deep and like really
and you bring it in as steps, like it comes in as.
Right.
And then back down.
When it happened the first time, that's exactly how it happened. Started root and like my legs were spasming. And then it kept going all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. It'll cleanse your brain and it'll help the energy. It'll create life force. It will help your cells be stronger. It will activate a lot in your body. And
That's cool. I have another question. But I'm just curious if there's someone that would want to send any messages. I never knew my biological father.
Okay.
And he passed away. I don't know when. It was like 2015 or 16, so like 10 years ago.
Okay.
But I know obviously I have 50% of his genetics, but like the energy from him, I can feel it. I have one biological brother from the same father.
Okay.
And we're very similar in thought patterns and mannerisms and personality are weirdly similar.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if he would want to say anything or if there's anything that comes to you when I'm talking about that.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing the name Jonathan, and I don't know what that has anything to do with. Do you know any Jonathans?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't.
So there might be a Jonathan out there. And you might figure out who Jonathan is later, but it just is like so loud. Okay, so but back to him. He says, yeah. I'll share what I know. I'll share what I know. Do you want him to just share, or do you have a question for him?
No, I'd rather just have him share.
Okay, so he was very confused in his life. He felt like he was very, very strong mentally. He felt very strong physically. He felt determined. He felt whatever strength means, he felt that. But somewhere in his life, people he admired told him otherwise. And so that's weak. That's, they would label it as different things. And so he said he was in a lot of self-battles of, am I really the strength? Am I really this smart? Am I is this stupid? Is this, and so he's kind of saying that he hopes it didn't pass through the confusion. But if it does, he's like, life can be bullshit for men sometimes. And it's like, you can't be enough. You can't do it enough. You can't, and he said, just don't let yourself get swept up in what other people feel is strength and intelligence, because it spiraled him out, made him angry, made him obedient to things that didn't work for him. And he said, ultimately, I lost a lot of family for it. I made choices in my life that I regret. And so he said, I hope you feel the strength. I hope, when you say 50% is me, I hope you feel strong. I hope you feel intelligent. I hope you feel like you can move through with strength. Because if you want him with you, that's what he would like to give you, is what he knows about that. And
that's nice to hear.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you hear?
Well, I do feel the strength.
Good.
Yeah, but I do feel the confusion as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet.
Mm-hmm. Because it's tempting to feel like you're strong. It can be tempting to feel the strength.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
He understands what you're saying. That sounds a little foreign to me, and so I had to ask him, what? But he understands exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So to feel strong is a temptation. That's what you're saying? Or you get tempted to feel strong?
You get tempted to use your strengths for reasons that you might not, you probably shouldn't. Right.
That's exactly, he's like, yep,
yeah.
Spot on. That's exactly what I dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And so just know that you're built different. And sometimes when you feel like you need to use strength, understand, is this a strength to stop what's happening? Or is this a strength to fuel what's happening? And if it's to kind of shut it down and bring it to a grounding space, then you can almost use whatever you got, right? That's good. If it's to kind of fuel up something, then he's like, that's cool. That just means you've got some stimulations that you got to figure out. And you need to figure those out. So, maybe pick up a fighting class or something, right. Or,
That does bring a lot of clarity. Yeah.
Because you don't want to dormant that strength. You want to explore that strength. However, sometimes your cleverness can see the weakness of somebody else that's trying to nag the wrong way. And instead of just shutting it down or closing their boundaries, he's like, you'll have a feeling of oh, really?
Yes, that's the temptation. Right.
So he's like, in those moments, recognize that you deserve to have those, and it's a higher gift of power and intelligence, and go do it somewhere that you can express that, right? But he's like, don't waste it on the stupid.
Makes a lot of sense. If you knew what he did with his life, you would understand why he's saying don't waste it on the stupid stuff.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's very interesting.
Good.
Thank you for that. That's a lot of clarity there. Yeah. I have another question. I've seen a few, I would say, masters, ascended masters.
Okay.
And there's one moment where I believe it was Buddha or a round-faced being was trying to tell me something, and I couldn't hear what he was trying to say. So I'm just curious if you're able to know if there's messages or things that were sent to me that were deflected or I turned away from that were supposed to put me on a certain course that have not been used.
It's like they keep saying, if you take the word supposed to out of it, then a path that you can be on, right, is you're not too late, nothing happened that way. But yes, there's more to it, is what I'm hearing. So your round-faced one, you couldn't understand because it speaks in like a hum. And so in a hum communication or a vibration communication, you've got to do it through the body. And then that's going to bring a picture for you or direct you to look at something. Or you might even start writing and then just write something. But that one's not going to give you words. The words is like a hum sound, and it'll get you into a rhythm of something. And then that rhythm takes you somewhere or shows you something. You'll hear it in music. Sometimes it'll come through. Sometimes you'll hear it and you'll feel it. Sometimes you'll start seeing things shake a little bit with your eyes. And then when that happens, just kind of pull in and be like, okay. And if you say, I will understand, tell me, then you will start to understand. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you'll start to discover it. But what else to it? You kind of want to know what that was about, huh?
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was sitting on top of a mountain and I got picked up out of my body by a god. And it was all blue, like I was floating in the sky. And I wasn't hearing anything, and I was letting go. Yeah. But I didn't understand what the purpose of it was. But he did have a round head, and he was blue, and he's very, definitely graceful and peaceful, but it was interesting. Yeah. 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 I'm getting the picture. I'm asking for more clarity on this. So it's a way of practicing coming out of your body and moving around. So like astral projection stuff. It's so funny what they call things nowadays, right? Whatever the updated term is of using that, right? Also, they said that you can do it in your body, but it'll be a separate picture and a separate feeling. So you'll be coherent. You'll be there in your body, and it'll be like the part of the room or something will open up a little bit for you, and it'll start to give you information. Or you can move in and move out of it, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's also a way, like when we do more advanced teachings, and I haven't done this with people for like 15 years, but we would teach people how to move through couches and windows and doors and see on the other side of things. And so it's like, this is showing him how to see the perceptions and the angles of sight outside of just here in his body. That's super interesting. As opposed to being what some would call astral projected outside. It's still inside, but you're able to... Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like, this is what it's going to feel like a little bit, but you can also do it while you're here, right, and you can see it differently that way.
That's super interesting.
Good.
I have another, again, I don't know what you call it, but a person that has ascended in my life that I never knew. Okay. Is my mom's dad, and he went through a pretty rough life, but he did what he could, and he's never played a role in any of our lives. So I'm just curious to know if he wants to say anything, or if he's watching, or if he's glad that things have turned out the way they turned out.
What's his name?
Norman.
Norman.
It took me a second because on his gravestone it says Frosty.
Okay.
His nickname was Frosty.
We'll
but his
call him
name's
Frosty.
Norman.
We'll call him Frosty. What did you want to know?
That if he's pleased to see the children that he had and the direction they chose to go in life is something that he would wish to see, or if he's watching in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said it was interesting because there was a time period where he could see you guys and the families and stuff, but he had to do a lot of work on himself. And he says it's actually only been recently that he's been able to really come and interact. But really, really pleased. He's happy. He's curious. But he needed to work on some stuff of his own before he could do that. And he says if you ever want to talk about that, he could. It's not like it has to be a secret or anything, but just know that that's something he did have to go through. No, he loves it. He loves watching all of the developments and what you guys have become and are becoming. So, good job.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's good to hear from you, Frosty.
Thanks, Frosty.
Yes. Quite the nickname. Yeah.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you have a nickname?
I can't think of them now that you asked me.
Okay.
You know one rule about nicknames, though?
What?
They got to be given to you. They can't. You
Exactly.
Can't come up with them, so that's probably why I can't think of them.
You're like, I didn't really like why they gave it to me.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There you go.
Hey. Well, we're going to talk and play again, and thank you for coming on. And it was nice meeting you
It sure
for
was.
the first time.
I've heard a lot about you, so yeah.
Give me a hug.
Oh, I sure will.
That was great.
Yeah, it sure was.
All right. So thanks for watching that. Go watch some more of our other ones. We do a lot of fun things. Thanks for joining us.